Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Keegan, I think you're aware that everybody on this panel, probably everyone in this room, I think is a friend of NASA. They recognize NASA does many wonderful things. They want them to do many more things. But like everybody in this room, NASA is not perfect. We can't expect anybody to be perfect. But we are talking about matters of national security now, and we need to be as close to perfect as we can possibly be. And when members ask questions like about disciplinary acts in the past, you know, and they kind of get a rope-a-dope here, you know, the bobbing and weaving, no direct answers. It sounds petulant, arrogant, defiant. It seems like an us against them. And I know that you don't even intend that, but that's how it comes across. This is not my first rodeo with issues like this. Financial Services Committee, the Securities and Exchange Committee played rope-a-dope with us for a couple of years. They let Bernard Madoff steal $70 billion from people, innocent people. People died because of it. People went broke. People are living in poverty now instead of a comfortable retirement because about 50 people in that agency didn't do their job. And we had great Inspector General reports, IG reports, made recommendations about what the accountability should be. And we got the rope-a-dope from the SEC for years. Well, we're working on it. Some of these things are still pending. We can't talk about them. It's a big secret. So finally, basically under Freedom of Information Act, we find out that none of the recommendations for disciplinary actions were taken. Everybody was let off easy. One explanation that was supposed to make us happy is the Secretary said, well, it might please you to know that half the employees are no longer with the agency that let him do all these things bad. I said, well, you know, great, that's problem solved. A pedophile moved to a different neighborhood. No. I mean, they're retired on the government dime. They took jobs as investigators or compliance people for other agencies maybe. That doesn't solve any problems because they're not with the agency. So we wonder how many of people in your agency that we're going to find out 3 years from now, oh, well, we let them hang in there until they got a better job and could double their salary on K Street or whatever, you know. I mean, we'd like some serious answers, and I think you owe them. And my question to you now, has any disciplinary action ever been taken? And you can tell me yes or no, and tell me what kind it was.
Yes, disciplinary action has been taken. I'm not, I know of certainly instances of counseling. I don't know of any other specifics related to the issues in these reports we're talking about here today. I certainly know about instances elsewhere in NASA where, I mean, I don't think NASA shies away from taking appropriate discipline up to and including removal.
Has anyone ever been removed, do you know?
At NASA?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Over security breaches?
I don't know that.
Could you find out for us? We'd like to kind of have a summary. You can tell us what actions have been taken, and you don't have to name employees. The IG has even named specific employees and said this employee did this, they should be disciplined like such. Of course, they weren't, you know. But I think we'd like to know what the history is, what the track record is, if actions have really been taken. I mean, do these people write these reports to come in and give them to Congress, and then the agencies just blow them off and say, those suckers, they can't make us do anything? I mean, that's the way it seems sometimes. That's the way a lot of the taxpayers feel at home. They see that there's a lack of accountability in government. We come here, we hold hearings, says, yeah, we'll check into that. Yeah, we'll report on that in the future. We'll get back with you. But we don't. I mean, I've got stacks of unanswered correspondence, you know, over my head. It seems like, you know, some of the agencies just refuse to do any compliance, and it seems like it's us, government, against them, the public or their representatives. And we'd like to think that that culture is not pervasive in NASA. But when we can't get straight answers, that's the conclusion people tend to think. And it makes it hard. I mean, we want to get funding for NASA to big things. It takes money. And the public perception is, you know, that NASA gets 20% of the budget. We know that in reality you get about 1/2 of 1%. And we know that's plundered. We know that comes through like a big piñata. From everything from the COPS program to whatever other pet projects people want to steal from NASA. Because, number one, we don't do a good PR job in NASA, and I could spend a couple hours talking about that. And number two, people already think we spend too much money on it. And number three, there's cases like this where they don't see a lack of accountability. So I would hope that when you come in here to share with us, we work toward changing that. That is not us against them. We're just trying to see that there's some fundamental accountability. We try and teach our children that in school. You know, everybody in the private sector has it that I know about. And we just want to see that that's in place at NASA too. And again, we're not talking about personalities. We're literally talking about the national security of this nation. We're talking about people that come here from another country, and we can't expect you to profile everybody who's going to have access to any information, because they shake down everybody when they get home, from tourists to students to everybody else. We know that's tough. But we have to get off the dime and move in that direction. And when people seemingly, almost willfully, violate or transgress guidelines that make this nation secure, they need to be held accountable, and you need to let us know that that's happening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield.